Hi, in this section, we will put together all that we learned to build a main application. We will build a Reddit-like link sharing application where the user can post a link, they can upvote a post, downvote a post, or delete a post. This is a fairly simple application, but it has all the CRUD operations. So let's get started. Here I have a basic Angular project set up. So if we look at our application, it has four main things. First, it has the list of all the posts. So we need an array of posts to be displayed. Then we have a form which will create a post. So we need a function which will create a post. Then we have buttons which will increase or decrease votes. So we need functions to increment and decrement the votes. And then we have the delete post. So we need a function for that. So let's create these one by one. Let's start off by creating the list of posts. So I'll start from the component and add the post list property. Then we need the constructor. And in the constructor, we'll initialize the post list with some static data. Great. Now that we have the data, let's display this in the view. So in the HTML, we can see our design has two sections. The top section has form, which will allow us to create the post, and the bottom section has the list of all the posts. So let's create the top section first. Alright, so the top section is a div with a couple of input elements inside it. The inputs are enclosed inside form tag, and the form is an ng form. So we need to add the forms module in our app module, and then we have a submit button which will submit this form, and on the form we have a on submit listener which is pointing to an add post function. We do not have that. We will create that in a minute, but that's the form section, that is the top section. So first let's add the forms module and add it to the imports. Save that. Next, we'll display the list, add the HTML for the bottom section. So the bottom section has a couple of divs. The first div has an ngIf on it. So if there are no items inside the post list, this section will not be displayed. And then inside that, we have another div which is the list item, and we have an ng_for on it. So this will loop for as many times the posts we have. And again, inside this, we have three sections. The left section has the votes, the upvote, the downvote, and the number of votes. The upvote and downvote are buttons, and the number of votes is text. And the center section has the title and the link, and the right section has a button to delete the post. And all delete post, upvote, and downvote are connected to functions which we do not already have. We will create those functions. Also in the HTML, our ng model of the text field for title is pointing to post title, and the URL is pointing to post URL. So we need to create a post property in the component, and this will have empty strings. So now if we save this and have a look at the application, we can see that our posts are being displayed. So this is the static data that we have from the constructor, and this looks very ugly because we did not add any CSS. So let's add that right now. So in my app component CSS, I will add some CSS. Again, this is just the basic CSS which has some colors and backgrounds, and that should fix most of it. We can still see there are some borders, so we'll fix that as well in the style.css. Right. So that fixed the borders, and we can see our application is looking good. Alright, so next up, we want to create that function which will create a post. So if we go to our component, the component's form submit is pointing to a function called add post. So let's create that function. In my component, I'll add a new function, add post. And in the add post, I'm creating a new object with the data from the form. So post.title and post.url, and I'll push this to the post list. I'll save that, and lastly I'll reset the form. So I'll set the value of title and URL to be empty. Save that. So let's add a post. Yes, great. So we can see the post is getting added, but the votes are not being displayed because we did not add any votes. So by default, let's give the votes to be 0. So in the component file, let's say votes is 0. Save, go back, reload, create a post, and the post is getting created. Great. Next, we need to add the function for upvote and downvote. So in the upvote function, I'm getting the post, and then here I'm finding the post from the post list function, post with the same ID, and then just incrementing the vote. Same thing will be for downvote, and downvote will reduce the vote. Great. Now let's go back, reload, and see, yes, upvote is working, and so is downvote. Great. Lastly, we want to add the delete function. So I will copy over delete. Now I am copying most of it because most of the code is kind of very similar. Delete post gets the post. You're finding the index of that post and deleting it. Great. So let's save this and see if this works. Delete. Yes. So delete post is also working. Lastly, we want to sort the posts. So we want to display the post with the highest number of votes on the top and the post with the lowest number of votes on the bottom. So we want to sort posts whenever a new post is added or it's upvoted or downvoted. So I'll add a sort post function, and whenever we add a post or upvote or downvote, we want to call this function. I save that, go back, reload, and if I reduce the number of votes here, you can see the order of these posts has changed. So even sorting is working.